Good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see who all's in here. Come on in. I just gotta go find it. Y'all know how this works. So there we are. Hi. Annie, thank you, honey. Good morning. Okay, Kathy Hand, I see you. Happy Sunday morning. So hello, everyone. Just gonna pull it up on my phone. So I can see your beautiful comments as you come in. Hello, hello. Let's do a heart brain this morning. Heart brain coherence, best way to start your day. Hello, Ricky and Josie. So happy that you're here. Okay, the hand goes on the heart. Slow down your breathing and add in the joy, like the joy that you have when you see our blue showing up. Good morning. Hi, it is Sunday morning, so we get to hear the Sunday morning song. Good morning, Charlie. So while you're focused on peace and love and joy, let's just enjoy this song.
Come to the water where you will find peace. Take a step into the river. Get down on your knees. Come to the mountain while taking in the view. You will find that life is greater than you knew. When you go through the storm, I will hold you, keep you warm. When you stay in the night, I will shelter, I will fight, I will fight. You're broken and you're shattered at the point of no return. You pick up the pieces and you let the bridges burn. So come to the water, you're sailing with the breeze. Take a step into the river where you will find peace. When you go through the storm, I will hold you, keep you warm. When you stay in the night, I will shelter, I will fight. Oh yeah, I will fight. When you go through the storm, I will hold you, keep you warm. When you stay in the night, I will shelter, I will fight, I will fight. I will fight. So come to the water where you will find peace. Take a step into the river and get down on your knees.
Come to the water where everyone, everywhere, is valued, seen, and treated equally and just, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Come to the water where peace is freedom from fear, the truth that aligns us with our higher self, the lightness of being at oneness with existence, flowing with the highest frequencies of the universe, the freedom of being in grace, joy, and harmony with life, where peace, like a river, is following its natural flow, and we allow it to happen without interference, where we accept the energy of love. Come to the water. Come, find peace.
The water. What a beautiful message of love when we come to the water. And this is our water, isn't it? This is where we all come and gather and just see what's that beautiful message that comes from each other every day. And so happy that you're here. Thank you for showing up this morning. Suzanne, I see you. Auntie Jean Loriot, she's awake this morning on a Sunday morning. And Kathy says it's so nice to see our family here at peace with each other. Here we are safe and loved, away from all our troubles. Together, we offer each other strength and unconditional love. We do. It's the beauty of being the spiritual family. It's different from being a biological family. Sure, we love in a different way. But when we choose our family, wow, we get to say, I want you. And just accept each other and hold each other and love each other unconditionally. And I want to get into the blog because that segues right into it. So welcome everyone. And the blog last night is called Unexplainable Love. Certain things in life simply have to be experienced and never explained. Love is such a thing. And that's by Paulo Coelho. It's hard to come up with a description of love, as each person has a differing experience with it along the way. In my past, I described it as something to be cautious of and perhaps to stay away from, as I had not had a great experience with it. Many times, it's just easier to observe others and quietly keep my opinions to myself. Mostly, though, I relate the word love to the unconditional acceptance that I have received from the Creator, as well as my spiritual family, the P's. Dear angels, I believe that we are spirit in these human body suits. We came here on purpose and with a specific mission or lesson in our divine plan. I know that there are those living in the darkness and still trying to figure this out. However, I do not understand how the concept of love can get so twisted and misunderstood, because it is the one thing that we all have as our birthright. Dear ones, the energy of love runs through all humans. Sometimes in your slumber, as you perceive yourself as being separate from each other and from God, you forget the power of real love. You innately seek that beautiful experience of being unconditionally loved. You look for it wherever you can and cry out once you are disappointed. Dear ones, it will not be found outside of yourself. Once you plug back into the eternal love of the Creator, only then will you feel fulfillment. There are many whose eyes have been opened, and encountering them will spark a desire inside of you to connect to that energy again. It is a remembering of your magnificence. Find those whose hearts are open and who do not have any agenda other than to love. When you seek this, you will find it. When you find it, you will have a better understanding and compassion for those who are still in the darkness and are not allowing themselves the miracle of unconditional acceptance. Dear angels, today I promise to keep my heart open to unconditional love. And what a blessing it is, isn't it? When we find that family, that soul group that we knew before we even came into this experience. We knew that we were going to call each other home, home to our heart. This is our true home. And that's how I can say that I do have a home, even though I don't have a physical home. I have a home everywhere I go. Every one of you that I meet, that's my home, because I know you. I really feel comfortable with each person along the way. And it is such a delight to sit with some of the P's, our wonderful soul group. Roberta Jones, thank you for being here this morning. Welcome. So, where's your home? Have you found it? Have you found that true home? I'm not talking about a house. I'm not talking about four walls. I think we all know that. Your home and your spiritual family. I know those of you that are part of this group and have been for over 2.5 years now, I know that you have found this as a home. I know that when I play that song, Come to the Water, it's something that we all relate, because it's kind of where we were when we came together, isn't it? We came to the water. Sophia Rego, thank you for being here this morning. Hi, darling. Annie says, yes, yes, yes. You know, if you haven't experienced that beautiful energy of a soul group, you've really missed out. And like the angel said, we seek that. That's what we look for when we get into any relationship, whether that be a friendship or a romantic endeavor. We're seeking that unconditional love. And then when we don't find that, when we start getting judgments and expectations and butting heads with each other, then we have a disappointment, because in unconditional love, there's no have-tos. I'll love you if. There's none of that. There is only love and acceptance. And we don't have to like what each other does. We're not like the Stepford wives. We're not all exactly the same and speak the same and look the same. But that would be boring, wouldn't it? We need the variety. But as much as we don't like some things that our friends do or our acquaintances do, we can still love unconditionally. And I think that's been a challenge in these lifetimes that we live. It's a challenge sometimes when somebody might be obnoxious and you have a thought of, I can't love that person. Maybe there's someone that does atrocities. I can't love that person, but we can, because that is us reflected back to us. So when that happens, when you're turned away or turned off by somebody's actions, just go inside and say, okay, why is that bothering me? Why is that getting to me? What is it about that person that I'm saying, I can't stand that? And what is it that is pushing a button for you? And then maybe it's just you're looking for that unconditional love. And there's something that's saying, oh, that person's judging me, or that person's criticizing me. And you don't have to take that. You don't have to say, oh, that's okay, go ahead and do that, because it's not. We need to stand up for ourselves. We need to voice how we're feeling and express our emotions. But that doesn't mean you can't love that person and love them as a being and as a spirit. Kathy says, I'm so happy I found all of you, because I also found my true, authentic self. Yeah, that's what happens. That's how it happens when we see ourselves reflected in others. And our wise Auntie Jean says, everyone who I knew but met for the first time in the physical said the same thing. It seems that we have known and been together forever. That's the beauty of being in that soul group, of really knowing each other before you know each other. So many times when you just meet a stranger, there really are no strangers, but when you meet someone that you've never encountered before in the physical, many times you have that deja vu moment. You have that energy that says, wow, I know you. And it's not the physical look. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you recognize them in their physical form. But so many times it's the energy that they're putting forth. And look at that. When that happens to you the next time, and it will, because we keep calling our soul family to us. We're not done yet. Do you think it's over just because we have met this many P's and because this many people have come to us in the Angelic River family? We're just getting started. And there's so many more. Oh, excuse me. There's so many more out there for us to encounter and for us to call to each other. And sometimes when we get somebody that comes on the morning show or the chanting at night, and they resonate so much with the energy, that's because they're meant to be here. And they recognize that, they see that it feels like home. And I've heard that so many times. You just feel like home. Because, as I said, home is really in our heart. And as Ram Dass says, we're all just walking each other home. All right, let's hear what Kuan Yin has to say about all this talk this morning. She always has something to chime in with. So it is, look for my signs. I have been speaking to you through signs in the world and feelings in your heart. Can you hear my reassuring voice? When you ask me for a sign, I give it. Notice what is happening in the world around you. Take comfort. Believe. Yep, exactly what we just said. Is that feeling in the heart. It's not really anything else. There's no book learning that can teach you how to recognize a member of your soul family. There's nothing that anyone can teach you that will help you with that. It's inside of you. Like the angel said, we innately seek that unconditional love. And when we find it in a soul group like this, then We just know. We don't have to be told. We just know it. Let's see what Kathy Hand has to say this morning. When I look back over the years, I was always trying to find myself. I tried different groups, lifestyles, and still could not find me. Sometimes I feel guilty for some of the things I did and tried. I even get sick about it. But now, through this family, I've learned to accept what was, align with what is best for me, and allow all the good to come to me. That's the AAA, Kathy. You learn to accept, align, allow. And I just want to talk about how sometimes we do look back. Sometimes we pull our past into the now moment. And our past happened. It happened. We can't deny it. We can't put a block up. Well, some people will try to block it out, but it really did happen. It really was something that we did, that we experienced. But in this now moment, are you experiencing that? You will only experience it again if you bring it into your now moment. Every moment is an opportunity to change. Each day, you have a new slate. You have this freshness that you can choose how you want to be, how you want to live, people that you want to be around. Do you want to be around like-minded people? Do you want to experience joy instead of judgment, happiness instead of hatred? What do you want your day to look like? And as much as I can sit here and tell you that that's the way it is, you have to come to that understanding. Each one of us does. I didn't understand it for most of my life. I didn't understand that I could leave those things in the past. I could wrap them up in a nice package and hand them over to the angels and say, okay, it happened. These things happened in my life, but I choose to live with the lesson and the blessing and not the energy of what's pulling me down and keeping me in that low vibration. It is a choice that we make every moment of every day. And when we finally do that, when we finally release the energy of, oh, I'm just so sad or guilty or shame, when we release that energy, then we can choose what we want to feel and how we respond when our buttons are pushed. And yes, buttons are pushed every day. Every day, my buttons are pushed. You know, people might say something and it's something that's very close to me because I've gone through some experience, but I'm not going through it at the moment. So if a button is pushed, then I have the opportunity to say, that's okay, I've healed that, and I can now respond to you and relate to you on a different level, on a different understanding. I'm using the fires I went through to help somebody else understand the fires they're going through. Because that's what happens when somebody tries to manipulate or to get you upset. Nobody can get you upset. Nobody can make you feel any way other than what you choose to feel. And Kathy says, thank you, Teri. Every now and then I need that reminder. I need to stop looking in the rearview mirror because I'm not going back there. No, you're not. Only if you choose. Only if you keep looking in that rearview mirror and putting it in your back seat. Are you going to let it ride along with you into this moment and the next moment and the next moment? That is totally your choice. But in releasing it and opening the door and saying, get out of my car, I don't want you along on my journey right now. That's the freedom. And you have that choice. And good morning, Sally De La Rosa. You survived yay, you survived that small business day. Well, I hope it was amazing and full of joy and everything you wanted it to be. Thank you for coming in this morning. And hello to Miss Tony. Auntie Jean says it's easy to be grateful for our blessings. It is a challenge to be grateful for the lessons, but those lessons led me here to this family. So I am grateful that I learned them. I think a lot of us have been through so many fires. So when we found this, we found unconditional love. It was like a release. We could breathe, we could exhale, because when you're holding on to past stuff, all that stuff that we think is so important, that we just keep regurgitating, owning a disease or owning the trauma we've been through, and constantly having to beat ourselves up over and over again because of it, then we go into such a low vibration. But when we realize, I can put that down, I don't have to carry that. Now I can carry the joy of being surrounded by the people I love and that love me. Look at that. What a blessing to come in here and know that when somebody says, thank you, I love you, it comes from the heart. It's really meant. You can tell the difference if somebody is saying that I love you. You really can tell the difference if they mean it or they don't. They're just saying the words. And in here, when someone comes in, if they're not resonating with the energy, then, they leave. And that's the way that works. If they're not in alignment with our family, our soul family, they end up leaving. And that's okay, because they're some of those that the angels spoke about that are still in the darkness, that are still not awake to who they truly are. They're just looking for someone to push buttons. And this is not a button pushing place. And let's see what Sally's got. Sally says, our buttons were pushed yesterday. It took 3 of us one at a time to calmly back someone out of our center who was there to challenge our beliefs in front of a large crowd in the center. So very crazy you're talking about this. Synchronicities, my dear. We all know what each of us is going through. It's so easy sometimes to see the oneness. This is when that happens. When you're thinking something and all of a sudden it's being said, or you experience something and all of a sudden there's an insight about it. And Callie, I really hope this gives some insight that, that person, it wasn't about you at all. It wasn't about anybody else in that center. It was about them having an experience in their life, divine plan for them to just carry that energy at the moment until they can understand, until they see unconditional acceptance and love in themselves. And it's not about how anybody responded to them. It sounds like you did the exact right thing in removing them from the situation where they were creating an energy that was low vibration. We don't have to put up with that. We're not doormats. We don't just take the words that people spew at us, and sometimes those words are pretty hateful. We don't have to take that. We set boundaries, and you set boundaries, and I'm so proud of you for doing that. And Sally says, we did respond very well. We did everything right and saved our name. I think if we would have blown up at him, it would have been very bad for the business. So I'm glad that we could hold our composure. Indeed, that's how we as spirit beings respond to each other. We're not always going to agree with each other, but that's different than somebody that goes on the attack. We can have a conscious conversation with one another and say, I think this way, even though you think that way. And it's okay, Because, there is no right or wrong when we're just discussing and sharing our thoughts and our experiences and our ideas. There is no judgment. There's no right or wrong about it. It just is from our experience. And sharing our various experiences with each other helps us understand that and helps us see that, oh, I can accept you, even though you ascribe to this certain way of living your life. I'm okay with that. That's your life. That's what you choose. And who am I to try to change your script of your movie? You came here to live your life that way. I'm not here to force anybody to try to change and live it the Teri way. There is no Teri way. I live my life the way Spirit guides me. And I choose to allow each person who's having their experience to live their life the way their plan is. That's not my plan, that's your plan. And I don't judge it. I don't criticize you for it or say, nope, that's not for me. I don't have to hang out with people that maybe are in a whole different scenario than mine. And I just can't resonate with what they're doing. There's some things in life that we just don't understand, and that's okay. It's okay to not understand. It's okay to not fully understand what this person was experiencing, Sally, and everyone else. It's okay to say, I don't know what's going through that person's mind. I don't know what experiences they had, but I choose right now not to be with them and for them not to interfere in what I'm doing in my ministry. You do provide a ministry through your building and your business. It's a place for people to come to experience love. And if other than love walks through the door and tries to disrupt that, you have every right to say, not today. And that's what I say, not today. Today, this is all about love. Good morning, Tammy Fisk. Tammy, I think about you so often, and I know you're going through some real challenges right now. And we pray for you and lift you up for something good to come your way. Do you all remember there was a TV show, and it was a religious show. It was so many years ago that I saw it. And the song that was sung every time that show came on, I think it was on Sundays, the song said, something good is going to happen to you this very day, this very hour. And I love that song. And I sometimes think of that and it runs through my head. And I just know that when I get into that vibration, that something good, something in my divine plan is helping me to open my eyes to goodness and to blessings. And I accept it, I align with it, and I receive it in my heart. So maybe that song will stick in your head today. Something good is going to happen to you, and allow it in. Auntie Jean says it's hard to do sometimes, but all we can do is send love to that spiritual soul inside that person who needs light. That's all we can do. We can speak on that higher level. We can speak to their higher self. And sometimes that's the only way it will be heard, because the physical person has shut that off and is not ready to receive a message. But the spirit being knows. It's just this movie that they're playing. It's their part, and they're playing it so well. I know you know people that play their part of the contrast, and they do such a good job at it, right? So speak on the higher level. That's what I always do. And it really helps to do that. I think many of you know that I'm estranged from my daughter, and I talk to her on the higher level. I just talk to her higher self and share how much I love her, and just allow that to be the energy that I hold in my heart. And Sally says, yes, it felt very much like he was trying to corner us or get us to respond badly over our belief in the Bible and our Creator, but all turned out well. And very proud of how Vita and Tony handled themselves. I'm so glad that Vita was there. So glad that she has you, that she can come into those arms of love. And Vita, I don't know if you're listening or if you do listen to the morning show, but just so much love. We lift you up every day and pray for you and your emotional being. And Kathy says, to me, I've gotten more spiritual and loving, compassionate through this group than I have in 40 years in the Catholic religion. Between this group and the way my mom and dad raised me as a Christian, I feel my heart and soul are more connected with the divine than if I just proceeded to attend church once a week. Kathy, my daughter is 47 years old, almost 48. She will be that next month. Thank you for asking. We've been estranged for a very long time. And, there were events that happened and, influences. And I just love her from a distance and praying that one day before I leave this earth plane, I will be able to sit with her again. So that's my hope that I put out there to spirit, and whatever happens, happens. I had to release the energy of it because it was really bringing me down every day. But once I released it to spirit, I'm like, I can talk about it again. I used to not even be able to say anything, or it used to really get to me on her birthday and I couldn't say happy birthday to her. But now it's like, oh, I talk to her higher self all the time. So it's not like I'm missing out on anything other than maybe a physical hug. But thank you for asking that. Okay, so it is our prayer time. And Vita is doing wonderfully well. She's coming into the center more, and we are setting goals for Vita and her moving into her truest divine light. That's awesome, Sally. And Kathy says, I pray that for you as well. Bob never did get to see his birth mother before she left this world. Yeah, that's sad. And I pray that won't happen in my case. And whatever is going to happen will happen. And I fully believe that. And I know that you can't force anything, you can't make anything happen, but we can change our attitudes and how we respond. Okay, it is time to get into our prayers, but I have some exciting news before we do that. So Spirit has inspired for me to do some teaching next year. And I put out a little teaser in our messenger group that said 3 + 4 =? And the answer, of course, is 7. And that's how many months I'm going to be teaching next year in 2023. And I'm just getting all the details now from the angels and what that's going to look like. And it's going to be wrapped around the energy of 3, 4, and 7. So there's going to be lots going on, lots of high dives, and you get to choose your experience. If you want to go full in and take the high dive, if you want to maybe test the waters, or if you want to do some of it, but not all of it. So there's some exciting stuff coming forward in the new year. And details to follow. And Sally says, prayers for all who are in need today. Sending love and positive energy as well to surround each of us. Thank you, Sally. And thank you, Tony. Thank you all for being here this morning. And I know it's a work day for you. I hope it's another beautiful day. All right. So any prayers that you want to give up, just type those in the comments. And I'm so blessed to have all of you here today. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for being part of that spiritual group that has unexplainable love. I just love that. All right. So we have a long prayer list. There's many on there. There's many that have been added in just recently. So on Wednesdays, that will be read. Every Wednesday, we revisit it. We add more to it. We sometimes take people off the list if they've gone through something like a surgery or an illness, and they're in a good space and they say, oh, okay, I'm good now. Then we are told to remove them from the list. But you can stay on the list as long as you want. We have people that have been on that list since the very beginning, ever since we had a list. So that's who we pray for every day. And I'm asking for each of you to do the same, to just lift up our spiritual family, lift up their loved ones, and whatever the need is. And I'm reminded this morning to bring to you baby Eris, Joanne's grandson. And Eris has some type of viral infection. He's got a bad cough and congestion and unable to fully rest, which is what his body needs. And Kathy says, setting the intention that Bob's meeting with the business CPA will guide us in what steps to follow for the best for our family. We will hold that intention with you, Kathy. And thank you for the reminder that this is Setting Intentions Sunday. So if you have something you want to put in there, maybe you want to be a part of the deep dive next year. Maybe you're ready to do that, or you're ready to change careers or move forward in the career you're in. Whatever it is, set your intention on today. Know what it is, hold it in your heart as we pray. And then tomorrow we'll talk about manifesting. And Ricky says prayers for my brother-in-law's father, Tom, who's in the hospital with fluid in his lungs. Let's lift up Tom, and I will add him to the prayer list, Ricky. And if Blue is still listening, I'm sure she'll add him to the grid. So thank you for bringing that to us. And Auntie Jean says, please pray for my son, Michael, who nearly carved his finger off while doing the turkey Thanksgiving. He will be meeting with the surgeon this week. And thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy I got to meet him on Zoom last night, Jean. That was beautiful to get to see all of Jean's family on the Zoom call and to just see their faces. I know them from talking about them with Jean, but there's only a couple I have met in person, and what a beautiful family she has. You're so welcome, Ricky. All right, so let's go into our hearts. Let's just pour unconditional love from our hearts today. First, we have to receive it, right? So take a breath in. Focus on the breath. Focus on where it comes from, how it got into your lungs. What a miracle it is that we don't have to physically say, get into my lungs. We just do it. We just do that which our mind knows to do. We don't have to tell our heart to beat. We don't have to tell our heart to love. Our heart space knows that when it gives love, it gets it back. So let's receive through the breath, focusing on where it is, where it's coming into our body. Are you breathing it through your nose? Are you breathing in through your mouth? Doesn't matter. You're just taking it into your lungs. And just allow that acknowledgement that there is a power greater than us. There is a creator, and that creator looks after us and for us 24 hours a day, always. always present in every second, and helps us to use our intuition to know that that love we're breathing in is coming from that higher source. That love is coming from beyond anything we could imagine here in this earth plane, in this 3D world. We move our vibrations higher, up, up, up to that higher plane, as Marietta teaches us. We go forward into that realm of love that is unconditional, that says it doesn't matter what you've done, it doesn't matter what you've thought. All of that is something in your past. All of that is done. I encourage each person hearing my words today to just take this moment in time and tell yourself, I am forgiven for everything in my past. All of that experience happened for a reason. It brought me to who I am right now, this very person that's here in this now moment, receiving love. I can receive it because I can let go. So I encourage you to let go. Cut those strings. Release the energy that was the low vibration of the experience. And instead, take on the energy that's the high vibration. That's the lesson part of the experience. Maybe there were some really powerfully low experiences. Maybe there were things you did that you're ashamed of. I think we all have that in our closet. We all have those things that we look back on and we don't want to think about them. We don't want to talk about them. And you don't have to. Release the experience and keep the love. Keep the lesson, keep the blessing, keep the knowledge that whatever we went through in life was for our best and highest good. So right now, in this safe place where you're not judged and not criticized, just type in the comments if you want. I release my past with love. I release everything that held me down and that still tries to hold me down. It's my choice now to just have love in my life. Only love and light is welcome here. So if you're ready to have only love and light and none of the chaos and the turmoil that might have been in your past, just make that commitment. You can type it in, you can say it out loud, you can say it to yourself. Only love and light is welcome here in my life. And that's all you have to do. Just make that commitment to yourself. Nobody else really has anything to say about it. It's only you. Thank you, Ricky. Released his past with love, just letting it go. And it doesn't have to be a traumatic event to let it go. It's really a releasing, freeing thing when we let go. Annie 7, I release my past. Only love and light is welcome in my life, in my presence, and in my future. Kathy Hand, I'm ready to release the past because only love and light are welcome here. Stay in that energy. Every day you will have new experiences. Every day there will be things that come up that challenge you because we're human and we're going to have that. But once you realize, okay, that's a fire I'm going through right now. Maybe it's the fire of losing a loved one, or maybe a separation or a conflict with someone in your life. It's okay. Grow from that experience. Grow from the essence of what you're learning from it, but release it. Don't stay in that vibration. Don't live there. Thank you, Blue. I release my past. Auntie Jean, I release everything that is holding me down and choose to live in love and light. And Annie, I walk in the truth of the divine, and the truth of the divine is love. Thank you all for going into that love today, for recognizing it for what it is, and recognizing yourself as a being of light. And as that being of light, there's no room for darkness. There's no room for guilt and shame, and blame, regret, and sadness. You'll have grief. Grief is a part of our experience, but don't live there. Release that. Release that energy. Suzanne, I release my past. Yes, yes, yes. So let's lift up all of our loved ones, that list that we go to reflect on and to learn who's there that we're still lifting up. Who are we putting our arms of love around? And do that right now. In that beautiful energy of love and light, just send that love to each person who we've been asked to pray for. And let's ask our Creator to just shine a light on each one and to answer the prayers for the best and highest good of all. And then we turn our thoughts to each other. And what a beautiful day this has been together already. It's a great day to have a great day. And this has been this time together with you. So you know what to do on the count of 3, 2, 1. Thank you. I love you. Give that love away. Sending it to each one of you along with a kiss to seal the deal. And Kathy says, that is why right here each day, this Cuppa Joy room is my church. I'm part of a beautiful, loving, spiritual family. Thank you. I love you. Well, how about a little bit of Leo to get us out of here today? Let's see if I can go grab our Leo. And Blue, get the kiddos ready, because we know how they love their Leo.
Good morning, Earthlings. It's time to get up and get ready, because today's the perfect day to have a great day.
Kathleen, good
Here we
morning.
go, come on, come on. Come on, let's play, it's a beautiful day. If you woke up this morning, might as well be part of it. One of peace for peace, on a mission for harmony. You and me, mama, be on the lead, wherever we may be. We create a portal where we can be together. The heart telephone is always one phone call away. Calling on the guys, the angels and the masters. Take a deep breath, we're going into a new dimension. Morning cup full of joy, every day. To start the day on a high vibe, we call the AAA. Morning cup full of joy, with all the peace and the ball. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Morning cup full of joy, every day. To start the day on a high vibe, we call the AAA. Morning cup full of joy, with all the peace and the ball. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Give me a cup full of joy. Give me a cup full of. Give me a cup full of joy. Give me a cup full of. Cup full of joy, full of light, full of love. Bottomless refuse, spilling out from the top. Here, the coffee's always hot and the choice is always yours. The sun is calling out to play, let's put on a show. Today is a new day, we are part of this game. Let's play to win. Love always is the winning team. And you can side with us, there is always no space in the pot. For more love, take a spot and get the day started. Morning cup full of joy, every day. To start the day on a high vibe, we call the AAA. Morning cup full of joy, with all the peace and the pot. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Morning cup full of joy, every day. To start the day on a high vibe, we call the AAA. Morning cup full of joy, with all the peace and the pot. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Give me a cup full of joy. Give me a cup full of. Give me a cup full of joy. secret. We simply accept, align, allow. AAA, morning cup of full of joy every day at 8. Just start the day on a high five, we call the AAA. Morning cup of full of joy with all the peas and the pod. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Morning cup of full of joy every day at 8. Just start the day on a high five, we call the AAA. Morning cup of full of joy with all the peas and the pod. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Give me a cup of joy. Cup of joy.
Woo! Thank you, Leo. And thank you, everybody who came in. No sneak tricks, Blue. Can't have that. But you know, those little Fae, they're going to do some sneak tricks, I think. And hello to Luna. Hello to all the fur babies, Pocky, Gruff, everyone there. Stay in your hearts, stay blessed, and just enjoy that feeling of unconditional love that you just had for this time together. Keep it in your heart all day and share it out with somebody. Share that love. I love you all so much. I will see you later. Namaste, y'all. Bye now.